Hello, this is Instructor Williams. I am the technology instructor for the Antioch Public Library District. In today's lesson, we will be looking at Microsoft Excel 2016 Formulas and Functions, Part 1. Our objectives for today are formatting dates and numbers, simple formulas, cell references, point and click method, and editing a formula. Formatting dates and numbers. The first thing we need to do to format a date and numbers is to open up Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to come over to the Start menu. I'm going to select Excel 2016 and open up a blank document. The next thing we need to do is enter in a series of dates. I'm going to come to column E and type in a series of random dates in short format. And if you'll notice, whenever I do enter the dates, they will automatically change to a default setting. So we have the month, the day, and a 4-digit year. So I'm going to enter a few of those in. And I'll do one last one right here. If we want to alter the date format for all the dates at the same time, the first thing we need to do is highlight the column which they're all entered, in this case column E. Then we find the word General under the Numbers group, hit the down arrow, and we'll select Short Date, and you can see the format is a short date. Then we're going to come back to the same area and then choose the option for Long Date, where you can see the day, the month, all spelled out, the day of the month, and then the 4-digit year. Now, if you're not particularly fond of those two date formats, we have plenty of other options. All we have to do is come back to the Numbers group, hit the down arrow again, come down to the very bottom where it says More, and we have a date selection here, and we have all of these options for date formats that we can look at. So I'm going to go through and select a few of these options just to show what you can do and what's available. Here's one, just the day and the month. Here's another option where we have the day first and then a 3-letter year. We also have this option here. We have the month spelled out and then the day. And then we can come to this one, and that'll give us the short date again. So as you can see, we have plenty of options for dating formats. Here's one. This is European or military style. Back to the short date. So you have a lot of options to choose from in terms of dating format. Formatting numbers. Formatting numbers are just as simple as formatting dates with just as many options. So I'm going to put in a series of numbers here in column I. Then once again, if we want to format the numbers all at the same time, we need to come up and highlight column I. Make sure we're in the Home tab. Come to the Numbers group. Click the drop-down menu where it says General. And we have all of these options to format the numbers. So let's choose currency as our first example. And you can see everything shows up in a currency format. Then we'll do percentages. Then we can look at fractions. You won't see much there because we're using whole numbers. Another option is the scientific numbers. Now that we've seen some options, let's go back to the percentages because those are really big percentage numbers. And the way to get numbers that we're more familiar with percentages is to use decimals. 0.01 will give me 1%, 0.003 will give me 0.30%, 0.05 will give me 5%, 0.0005 will give me 0.05%, and so on and so forth. And now that we've explored percentages more fully, we're just going to delete this column and move on to our next section. Simple formulas. Simple formulas takes us back to elementary mathematics, where we're adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying. So we're going to write out the standard operations for simple formulas here in Excel. So in column A, I'm going to write out the words. So we have addition, we have subtraction, we have multiplication, we have division, and we have exponents. Now the symbols in Excel are slightly different. Addition is the same, it's the simple plus sign. Subtraction, it's the same, it's the negative sign. Let me put it down here. But multiplication is not an X like you would write out in school. It's not an X. It's actually what we call the asterisk. And we find the asterisk by hitting Control 8 or finding the asterisk above the number 9 on the keypad on the right-hand side. Division is not the line with a dot above it and a dot below it. It's a slash, known as a forward slash. Now when we're writing out just a forward slash in a cell in Excel, we have to double click into the cell to make it happen. Otherwise we get a series of hotkeys in the top of our ribbon. And then finally exponent is a little caret that we get by hitting Shift 6 in basic math, and exponent as a number multiplied by itself. Now we're going to work with these standard operations on a file or workbook that is titled Simple Formula. So I'm going to go in to my directory. I'm going to open up the folders where it's at, Excel 2016, and the file is O3 Simple Formula. Now when we look at it, we see that it is a budget for a summer remodeling project. The first thing you're likely to notice is in B1 you have a bunch of pound signs. And that just means that the information is bigger than the cell can contain. So all we have to do is widen up B and we get all the information there. Just like that. Now into creating our first simple formula. We're going to work with the estimated budget, the purple area, and we're going to be dealing with F6, the area for the total. So to start a simple formula, we start out with the equal sign and we type in the budget for June, which is 700, plus the budget for July, which is 550. Hit enter, which gives us a bunch of pound signs. So we widen up F and we see that the result is $1,250. And that's how we make our very first simple formula. Here are a few things worth noting. If you look at the total in F6, it's 1,250, but if you look at the formula bar at the top, you see the actual formula, which is equal 700 plus 550. Cell references. For the cell reference exercise, we are going to focus on the orange category called total cost of paint, and we will be dealing with the area F11. So I'm going to highlight F11, and at the top in the formula bar, I'm going to start out with equal. That's how we tell Excel that this is a math problem. But instead of typing in numbers, I'm going to type in the cell references. So for the $30, I'm going to use F9, and I'm going to multiply that by the gallons of paint needed, which is F10. So I'm going to do F11 or equals F9 times F10. Hit enter and I get the amount. Now when I look back at the formula, I see I have 180, but if I look at the formula bar, it gives me the math, equal F9 times F11. And the advantage is if I need to change a number, say I needed 7 gallons, it automatically updates the total. Well, that doesn't happen in the estimated budget with a simple one. So if I change the total to 500 for the budget for July, it still says 1250, which means the math is off. So then I would have to go into the total in F6 to get that to change properly. Where the cell reference gives us the advantage of, it says whatever is in this cell, I'm going to multiply by whatever is in the next cell, and then I'm going to get the answer. And if I change what's in the previous cell, it will automatically update the answer. The point and click method. The point and click method has the same end result as cell references, but instead of typing in the cell reference, we're just going to take our cursor and point and click on the references that we want to calculate. For the point and click reference, we are going to use the hardwood floor repairs section listed out in green. So we want to select the cell where the total will go, which in this case is B20. Then we're going to come up to the formula bar and type in equal. Then we'll click on the first cell that's part of our formula, which is A19. Then we want to come back to the total area, hit the multiplication sign, and then we want to click on B19. Then we hit enter and we get the total of $85. And that is how you do the point and click method. Editing a formula. Now that we're equipped with these wonderful formula tools, we can go back to our estimated budget for June and July and edit that formula using our new tools. So we just need to come to the total here and change the formula itself. So we're going to highlight F6 and we're going to change the actual formula. So I'm going to highlight the 700 up here in the formula bar, which is F4. I'm going to highlight the physical 700 and type in F4 as a cell reference. I'm going to highlight the 550 and replace that with the reference F5. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to get a new total for $1,200. But then if I realized that my budget for June was actually $900, I could change it inside that cell and it would automatically update the total because I'm using a cell reference formula. And that concludes part 1 of our Microsoft Excel 2016 Formulas and Functions. So here is a summary of today's lesson. Today we went over formatting the date and formatting numbers. We went over simple formulas. We went over using cell references, the point and click function, and editing a formula. Once again, this is Instructor Williams, and I would like to thank you on behalf of the Antioch Public Library District. For more technology-related content and other Antioch Library videos, please press the subscribe button.